It's T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. And now for a quick disclaimer. The T-Bone
and Chick Brew
in the morning show is for infotainment purposes only.
The opinions expressed here do not represent
Naval Station Rhoda, the Armed Forces Network,
or the Department of Defense.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Do not take that tone with me.
The that one?
Yeah.
So how am I looking over there?
I mean,
I don't know. You know, I'm a little higher than you. Anyway, okay. Oh yeah.
You're always higher than me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Unfortunately, that's who I am.
If I yell, everything's fine.
And I mean, you're doing the professional thing. You're within like half an inch of the microphone. I'm 2 feet away, and I still overpower sometimes. Anyway,
It's not your fault. You're so strong. That's just the way you're put together.
Is it? Why? Why do I have no real volume control in my life? And I don't. I mean, the way I speak right now, is the way I speak all the time. Why is that?
I don't know, but I think that it's probably one of those things that I like about you, because the manager is kind of also like that.
She's passionate.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you yelling?
Emphasis.
Why are you yelling? And she's like, I'm not. I'm using my quiet voice. I'm like, but
I can't hear anything here.
Oh, you know what? They're really low.
Oh, okay.
It's really low.
It's better when I can hear more up here so that I don't, because I do tend to power project. And I do that. I believe I do that because I was a child that wasn't listened to. You know? Like,
welcome to T-Bone's daddy issues.
My dad was also a power projector.
Oh.
Everything he said was in that typical Marine Corps. I mean, imagine your whole life being raised by a Marine Corps drill instructor. You know, everything he said had to be heard from across the room. And I don't know if it's a physical disability, a mental disability, or it's just learned behavior. Well, now that I'm taking psych, I guess I'll figure all this out.
Yeah, I have no idea. My dad is.
Your dad's a quiet talker, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
how do those people even exist?
It's so he was in the Navy, and I think that if my dad had been my Divo in the Navy, things would have been different, because when he's mad at you, or he's upset, or he's disappointed.
Yes, my favorite. As a dad, my favorite.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Well, it's a true feeling. Because you'll get over being mad. You'll get over being mad, but you never get over being disappointed.
Do you see how
especially if you have daughters?
It made me. I arched my back.
My buddy Ed Campbell was a senior chief that I worked with in Sigonella, and he was the quietest quiet talker I've ever met in my life. And he would force you to lean into his conversation all the way. I mean, in an awkward way, like you're putting your ear next to his mouth hole because you don't know what he's saying.
That's gross.
Yeah, and he was I mean, how do you get to be a senior chief in a rating that, you know, and the MA rating specifically kind of requires a certain type of personality. It's not meant for the timid. It isn't. You have to be vocal. You have to be commanding. You have to be assertive. And then just to whisper your way through the day. Just how do you do that? Hey, I need to see your driver's. What do you want? What is it you're asking? Do you know how fast you? No, I don't know how fast. We'll be talking about all kinds of things because you know what? It's my favorite day of the year.
Oh, it is. It really is.
It's Groundhog's Day Eve.
But we also have a birthday shout out.
No, okay. Well, I'm sure there are a lot of fascinating, amazing people that are born this time of the year. I know Mrs. Chester, who's a coworker and, dare I say, friend of mine, who's a frequent listener of the show. She is celebrating a birthday in the near vicinity. Not going to give out the specific date. Learned my lesson from that one.
But also King James, who
the barbecue guy.
Yeah. Birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, King James.
Yeah.
I would like to say something more royal, because
he is a very regal man.
He's a nice guy. We got a lot to talk about. It's Groundhog's Day Eve, and it's T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. Come on. Plus, that could have been classic. You heard me.
I heard you. I also know what I said, so.
Oh, covering your tracks. That's hilarious.
Crushed it. Like a true professional as well.
So I was doing a post on one of the shows recently, and we go into a mic break, and it's just a really awkward kind of you were insistent on telling this story whether it was getting any love or not, and you forced your way through it, and then we go to commercial, we go back to the music, and then there's this long pause. And then I say something that I can't repeat, but it's only a second long, and it's so funny in the middle of this pause of silence that I was tempted to leave it in for the internet version of the show, but I took it out. But in my mind, so here's the problem I have.
So when you're talking about stories that get no love, you're just talking to yourself.
We have so much fun in here, and people don't know a good 75% of this show they don't get. So
true.
we have to play. We're required to play music. It's a radio station. So we have, while the music is playing, we're not listening either. So we're talking. We're having a good time. And then, like when I'm doing the post, I'm like, didn't we talk about, the alphabet? Didn't we spend like 10 minutes talking about the alphabet? And it's not there because
it was just a Justin Timberlake song that we were talking through.
It's Groundhog's Day Eve. Tell me, Chick Brew, why is Groundhog's Day Eve my favorite holiday of the year?
I don't know, but I love that you're so excited about it.
I am so excited about it. You know why? Groundhog's Day is the one holiday Hallmark has nothing to do with. There is not. I dare you to find a Groundhog's Day card. There isn't. It doesn't exist. Now, some kid might be making it right now in a first grade class somewhere under 7 feet of snow, hoping. Because, the first time I found out about the groundhog, it was the blizzard of 1977, and I was in upstate New York. And I was really hoping whatever magic this little rodent had was going to work, because I didn't want to see any more snow, because there was a whole bunch of snow back then. Exactly what they're going through right now. It's a 30-year storm, 40-year storm, so 40 years later, they're going through it, and hey, I feel for you. I wanted to warn everybody today about the weather. It's rainy, it's windy. There's the pine needles out there.
Oh, wait, they're so slippery.
I know. I heard you. And I caught myself as I was prepping to come into the show. Like, don't say the word miserable. Don't say the word miserable. It is not nice weather. And of course you want to hype it up to make it seem like it's even worse than it is, so people will be even more cautious.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's what's the term they're using for the polar vortex?
Oh yeah.
It's not just a blizzard. It's the polar vortex. Dun dun dun.
Saturday.
And our weather is it's not miserable.
It is.
It's
like
uncomfortable. It's out of the norm for us because we go 80% of the year with nothing but sunshine and clear skies.
Preferred.
Yeah. We have a great life here.
Look,
and if today,
no one said live in Minnesota. I've never once said to anyone, go somewhere where it gets so cold that your eyeballs might freeze out of your face. I would never wish that upon someone. If someone has made that choice on their own, that is on them.
You can't choose where you live sometimes. Sometimes. Like, again, 1977, upstate New York, there's a whole bunch of places I would have rather been. I had heard of a mystical land called Florida, but there was no way I was going to get there. I was 7.
You should have talked to your parents about that. Because you know who could have moved you. It's your parents.
Well, ended up moving to Texas next. Go figure. Right after the blizzard.
Hey, neighbor.
Hey, it's T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. Give us a call, 727-1025, 956-82-1025, or hit us up on any of the social media pages, and we'll talk about your misery.
That was perfectly timed.
Was it perfectly timed?
Yeah.
Like that was the end of the song?
That was it.
We are fantastic. How do we do? We got a pot of coffee brewing, additional conversation going, and like true professionals, no one will even know.
Well, also, they're probably not listening. Two schools of thought on that.
I would venture most likely not listening. That seems to be the... You ever feel like it's a college radio station?
Because I listen to the radio station, the college radio station.
Yeah, well, then it's like a community college radio station. I really feel sometimes that when we do this, I feel like it's a college radio station, and then I feel like it's a community college, and then I feel like maybe it's an online college radio station.
Boom. But like that one that gives like the no tuition cost.
Oh yeah. Like, and I'm just making this one up, like Eagle University. You come for free. I don't know.
The mighty pigeon.
So now that we have your attention, hey, in case you haven't figured it out, because you're most likely driving, please slow it down just a little bit. Turn on your fog lights. Those are a cool thing. Turn on your fog lights, slow down just a little bit, and look for those unintended speed bumps on the side of the road. Hey, if you're ever in a giving mood and you feel like doing something nice for humanity, maybe today's the day to offer that person walking in the rain a ride. Yeah, your seat's going to get a little damp and maybe your window fogs up, but you know what? It'll make you a better person. Now, of course, I don't recommend picking up hitchhikers anywhere else except on base. And those hitchhikers that you pick up on base, I would prefer that they were wearing some type of reflective material. Because that way you kind of know they're safe, you know?
Like they're trying really hard.
You're picking up a stranger on the side of the road and he's dressed like a cop. Well, he must be okay. Or he's really good at being a serial killer. I don't know.
Again, 2 schools of thought on that.
So what we're talking about on that Rota Rideshare Facebook page that we've been promoting for the last couple of weeks. Well, we've been promoting in 2019. What we're trying to do with that group specifically is get those people who need a ride in contact with those people who could use a ride. Now, I understand we've had at least one successful connection.
Hashtag crushed it.
Yes, you did.
I did.
I cannot believe the first person to connect with somebody on Rota Rideshare was you. That's so awesome. Can you tell us anything about it?
Well, what was funny is I can't believe it either because I dropped the manager off at school to do, make
school stuff,
make people smarter. Not me, other people. And I just happened while I was stopped to look at my phone to see if there was anything. I think I was actually going to check the weather because I wanted to know if I should go home to let the dog out now or later. And then boom, there was a notification that said, hey, someone's posted in Rota Rideshare. And I was like, I'll look and see. It's probably T-Bone. No, it wasn't.
Sorry for the disappointment.
It was a person who actually needed a ride. I was like, hey, all right, well, I am actually going to go get coffee instead of go let the dog out because it's not going to rain. So sure, yeah, let's go give someone a ride. It was perfect.
Was the person appreciative of the ride?
Yes.
Was it a pleasant conversation for the few minutes you were in a car together?
Yeah, it actually was.
They didn't steal anything from you?
I mean, it's a Subaru.
What I'm saying, folks, is, we're very, very fortunate to live in an area of low crime. And on the installation itself, we have even less crime. So it's a high probability that anybody you pick it up on the side of the road in weather like this is going to be so appreciative that they don't instantly turn into a serial killer.
Yeah. And I think and I'm just speculating here. I think what had happened was this person maybe had gotten a later start, but wanted to get breakfast. So they were in a uniform. They said, "Can you grab me at the galley?" Yes, I can. Like, that's actually perfect because I know exactly where that is and there's a place to pull over.
Exactly. So the Rota Rideshare program, if you haven't joined it yet, join us on Facebook. It's T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. Give us a call in the studio, 727-1025, or hit us up on any of the social media outlet thingies.
Take your logic and throw it away.
I make too much sense sometimes.
Stop it.
So, for whatever reason, my friend Keisha that I had mentioned earlier, because it's her birthday weekend, she likes to celebrate birthdays in grand fashion. So she's getting the whole birthday weekend to herself. Once upon a time, she gave me a little gift card as inspiration for the book I'm authoring, the abbreviated almanac of everything that's absolutely true, 2005 edition.
Which I've read a chapter of.
And did you like it?
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
So in this little tin of cards, it's just like, here's some random facts. And yesterday's random fact was Van Gogh. You heard of the guy, I'm sure.
Yeah, a thing or two here and there.
He shot himself in a wheat field. Yes. When he committed suicide, he did it by shooting himself in a wheat field. However, he did not die from the gunshot wound. He went home and bled out over 2 days. He died 2 days later. Just a random fact. Just a random, really weird fact. And it makes me wonder, like, I understand he was the typical depressed artist, right? Yeah. Oh, this guy's got issues. He got issues. Anyway. Because like self-mutilation was his gig, right?
Yeah,
he did
cut
that.
off his ear,
yeah, and I think there's a story behind the story where that really wasn't true. Like, he did lose an ear, but it wasn't because like, oh my dear, here's an ear, so you can hear me. I don't know what. I don't know what that love note
That'd be a weird one. That would be a weird one.
Jeez. I got distracted because the ear made me funny. It doesn't matter. We're getting ready to go to the top of the hour anyway. This is where you get all your news, weather, and information. Now your weather's from us. Hey,
Yeah.
It's wet out there. Be safe. Slow down. Keep an eye out for the unintended speed bumps. And
Those are people.
I've also been known to call them hood ornaments. Hey, have they turned on the lights on Towaway yet? I can't wait to see how much brighter it's going to be because we're using green technology and the brightest light bulbs money can buy that can only be seen 2 feet away.
Which is insane because I have LED lights in my house, and dear God, it's like you've just lit a stadium in the living. They're so bright.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yes.
I don't think you have LED.
Yeah, a little.
Just by the way you're making these hand signals, I can tell you that's most likely not an LED.
They're the bulbs.
No, you got is it a weird shaped bulb, like a pig's tail kind of bulb?
No.
No,
Because they don't make those
it's a
anymore.
bulb that looks like a bulb.
Yeah, but then it has the little diffuser for the light on top, and it.
Well, your LED is going to be tiny little diodes.
Yeah. I mean, I know what an LED looks like.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
No. You will not stay true.
I like to lie.
Oh. It's not April Fool's, it's Groundhog's Day, Eve.
Oh, I'm confused.
Yes. So the Spanish have their own version of April Fool's, right?
Do they?
Yes, but it takes place in late December, and it always gets the local public. There's like the newspapers on it, like everybody in Spain's in on it, and then we read it, we're like, oh no, they're gonna burn down the castle tomorrow. It's like, and they do it up really, really nice. And there have been some rather extravagant pranks that the media has attempted to play on the Spanish public, who are in on the joke, and the only ones who ever get hooked by it are us. It's funny. You don't know this.
No, I don't.
You've been here a few years. You should start learning these traditions.
I know, but I'm actually really proud of them.
Yeah, because if you went to a different country and they had an April Fool's Day and everybody was in on it but you,
Yeah, I mean,
you can see how easily it would be.
It doesn't even have to be another country. It's literally my whole life.
All right.
You get me every April Fool's. I'm like, oh. Someone always gets me. Someone will always get me. And I'll be like, I know it's April Fool's Day, guys.
I've always found it
Gets me
fun
every
to
time.
do April Fool's Day pranks at random times throughout the year. Like one of my favorite was
think
doing
you're
like
missing the
Dan
point.
Marino Day. Hey, we had a Dan Marino Day where it was a couple of us involved, and no matter what conversation we were in, it all got directed back towards Dan Marino. And for the three of us, it was hilarious.
Marino
Yeah, exactly.
is a...
football player. He's a Hall of Famer. Miami Dolphins.
Oh, from Ace Ventura.
From Ace Ventura. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would find ways to interject Dan Marino into any conversation. And
That's so funny.
Yeah, and you could do it with any famous name, Jay-Z. Today's going to be Jay-Z Day. You get a couple buddies and you direct every conversation back to Jay-Z.
We used to try to insert the word banana into conversations.
Oh, very similar to the Super Troopers meow.
Oh, that's too easy.
Yeah,
That's too easy.
and it's been done. So
Yeah.
those who think it's cute, stop. It's not funny.
Saint it.
Yeah, twice, as a matter of fact. Jim Gaffigan, both times. Go figure.
So what else we got? We got
It's Groundhog's Day Eve.
yeah, it's your favorite holiday.
It is my favorite holiday because Hallmark has nothing to do with Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day is a really silly combination of weirdness that takes place in one little town in Pennsylvania, but its magic is spread throughout the world. Now, the great thing, and one of the reasons I love Groundhog's Day, is there are no, outside of Puxatawney, Pennsylvania,
Phil.
there are really no traditions. So every year I come up with a new tradition, and then I reset it. Like the day after Groundhog's Day, I reset. So whatever, like last year's tradition was spaghetti and meatballs on Groundhog's Day, because that's the tradition on Groundhog's Day. Everybody eats spaghetti and groundhog balls, right? That's what everybody has,
Right.
Because everything you got to have the groundhog in it. It makes sense,
Right, otherwise it doesn't make
right? So like this year's groundhog meatloaf, groundhog loaf. That's the tradition,
disgusting.
but it's only again. I don't think it's legal to eat groundhogs, and even if it was, I don't know how tasty they would be.
Yeah, pretty
so,
little.
you just take a normal food and you put the word groundhog in it. Like when my daughter was young, I used to make her eat the roaches, but the roaches were just raisins, right? And we would have fun eating roaches, and other people would freak out because we were eating roaches. Like, hey, Nina, you want some roaches? Yeah, I want some roaches. And I, throw some raisins at her, but you could see again if you're not
growing up with T-Bone should be some like magical wind chime sound behind that.
Hey, man, I raised two amazing kids.
They seem cool. I've never met them.
Oh, well, trust me, they're cool, and I'll vouch for them. Anyway, it's T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. It's the Groundhog's Day Eve special. And as always, we'll take your phone calls at 727-1025, 956-82-1025. The last four digits are right there in front of you on your radio. And of course, we respond to social media. So there's that, yeah. Every day from birth is a race towards death. Okay, sorry. Well, look,
What kind of Star Trek was that?
No, it's a true statement.
Made by who?
Me?
And who else? Who'd you steal that from?
I didn't. I don't think I stole that from anyone. I've always
I'm gonna
had
Google it.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
So you know what? You know what really grinds my? No, you know what ends up making me very frustrated and angry with people when they like put quotes at the bottom of their email, but they're unattributed because there's a meme on the internet so somebody somewhere once upon a time put a quote on the internet, but they didn't know who said it, so they just put unknown underneath it.
Yes.
But it's a real quote from a real person.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, I know who said that. And then from every email on, you'll see that it's still listed as unknown because you shared that information with them. And you're like, well, you know what? I don't want to read your email because you don't read my email. I want nothing to do with you. It's just
Email is like the thing that exists to be ignored. I don't know how many times sitting at my desk, hey, MC1, you gonna respond to my email? Oh, I didn't read it all. I saw you sent one, but I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Why did you even open it? It says you read it. You told me to put read receipts on. You made me do this, and now I know.
The producer will tell you that nobody double clicks, right? So if they can read it in their preview pane, that's all they're going to get. If they have to double click on an attachment, you're out of luck. It's not going to happen because nobody double clicks.
But it drives me crazy because the people who get the most mad. Did you read my email? No, I didn't read your email. One, don't ever ask me if I read your email. I am telling you right now, I did not read it. and then you're like, hey, I responded to your email. Oh, I didn't read it. Shut up.
We've kind of lost our way with technology,
Yeah.
I think. So I was alive before email.
Oh yeah.
And like if you got a letter from somebody, that was a big thing. It was a big deal.
It's still a big deal.
And well, now it's a bigger deal because it's even rarer. Plus, the postage stamp is like $9 these days. I don't know.
Commitment.
So, if you got a letter, it was really nice, and you were kind of obliged to respond.
Yeah.
That was the way things worked back then. If somebody took the time to write and mail you a letter, the appropriate thing to do was be respond. If it was nothing more than a thank you note, you should have responded. Now with email, it's like it's filtering out the minutia.
Yes, what a good word.
Filtering out the minutia from the important stuff is so difficult that I have probably more unread emails than I have read emails because I'm a big fan of like the subject line needs to tell me why I should open this.
Yes.
If the subject line catches my attention, I read your email. And if not, then I'll get to it as time permits throughout the day. If your email has no subject line on it and I don't read it right away, you know why? It's because you didn't grab me. It's like marketing. Your email is like personal marketing of your message.
Tell me why your words matter.
Yes. Whiff them, right? What's in it for me?
Yes.
Why am I going to do this? I got other things to do. Well, why am I going to take the time to read your email? One of the ones that gets me the most, and we need to remember to talk about flooding, but I'm getting this out, is the person that shows up before the email arrives. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I sent you an email. Did you read it? You didn't send me an email.
Oh, my favorite. My favorite is when you hit send, and then you shut your computer down, and then you come to me. Hey, you never responded to my email. Yeah, because I don't have an email from you. No, I sent you an email. Yeah, I'm telling you right now that I don't have an email from you.
Bing, and
Nope.
it shows up.
And then 2 hours later, did you get that email? No, I didn't. Oh, I turned my computer off. It's stuck in my outbox.
Hey, before we do that, we just want to remind you again, please slow it down a little bit. Be attentive, be aware of what's going on out there. With the little downpour we just had, there's going to be some isolated flooding, so be looking out for standing water and humans that are getting drenched, and then offer them a ride. Be sweet. Be nice. Here's what we'll do.
You tell me.
Me and you, we can wrap this up right now. All right, and we'll call it the end of the day for the T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning because it's Groundhog's Day Eve.
Oh,
but if we get one social media ding, we get one green light on the phone over there, then we'll hang on a little longer. We'll come back for one more commercial break. So this is telling our listening audience, if you want to hear us joking around for one more ding, for one more mic break, then you need to participate a little bit in the show. Just a little. We don't really ask for much. You send us your song request, and somehow we find a way to tie in standing rainwater with "Oh Black Water" and "Keep it." I don't know the words of the song. I really don't know much about the Doobie Brothers. Yeah, so that's me.
Well, I'm judging you now. No, this is my judging face.
I mean, I could learn, I mean, one of my sailors recently learned who Queen was. And
really?
Yeah, she's in 100%.
Now she's like...
Never heard of him before, now she's in 100%.
Good for her.
Good for her. And her imagination. She does a lot of imagining. Yeah.
We were talking about flooding. That's why we played the song about the water.
Of course, because you got to make it make sense. It ties in.
We did it.
So we're sitting here in the studio. We're having a good time. We're conversing. And then this overpowering noise just keeps taking over our conversation. With a little quick investigation, we realize it's not the guys in the engineering booth moving things around. It's actually just a wicked downpour. Just everything's just everywhere. A deluge. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's
we have vocabulary very well today.
So yeah, there was a nice deluge. And
the best words.
So, and what that means is in a lot of areas where the drainage isn't what it should be, you're going to have that standing water. Standing water, it only takes, an eighth of an inch to separate your tire from the road surface. Things get slippery, especially around roundabouts.
Oh, yes.
Especially, and I guess a lot of young people don't know this, but when they buy a car, powertrain matters. All right, so
this is where this comes in.
You buy a Rota Beater and it's a BMW, and you're like, "Look at me! I'm 18 years old and I'm driving a BMW, balling," but you don't realize it's a rear-wheel drive, and then you go around a curve like that, and you find out the hard way that those things can get around. Yeah, they like to fishtail. The producer. I have a producer. You have the manager.
I have a manager. Yeah.
Yeah. The producer. She has one of those Bavarian Motorworks things, and every once in a while she remembers as a surprise that it is a rear-wheel drive vehicle.
Yeah.
Front-wheel drive vehicles don't get around like that. Rear-wheel drive vehicles do, but it doesn't matter. Even an all-wheel drive vehicle can lose traction if there's enough water underneath it.
Pickup trucks. People bring their pickup trucks. There's no weight in the back.
None.
Not used to going around a roundabout in a pickup truck in the States.
And as far as I know, there are no front-wheel drive pickup trucks. So, yeah. This definitely applies to you people. But I think they've if they bring a pickup truck here, they've been driving a pickup truck, they know.
Maybe they just got here.
Maybe. Anything's
Maybe they
possible.
just picked up their car.
All right. So I'm doing a quick checks.
Nothing.
Oh, there's a Lumpia notification.
Oh, that's important. We got to go.
That one's important.
There's Lumpia. It has been wonderful talking with you all, but there is fried deliciousness with my name on it.
Thank you so much for listening. Once again, it's been T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. We really appreciate your time. It's the New Year's don't you do that. It's a Groundhog's Day special. And we remind you, as we always remind you, to be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person yesterday, be an even better person tomorrow.
Oh, hey, T-Bone, don't forget that you are you are loved.
Happy Groundhog's Day, everybody!